call me Mom. You are not my son anymore.
Yes! Finally, the nightmare ends!
There are episodes of George Lopez where he has every right to be mad at Benny. And honestly, I shouldn't even say episodes. I feel like the entire series, George has all the right to be mad at Benny. Like the fact that he continues to talk to Benny is shocking to me. But what if we actually discussed what would happen if Benny had not been the way that she was to George when he was little? See, this episode 100% should have been more around the work of I deserved a better childhood. I know what I could have had. But for some reason, George is kind of set in his ways that he feels it's much better that he had a rough childhood rather than something nicer. And look, and before you guys say anything, yes, this is not my regular stage here, okay? I'm currently traveling right now for work, so I'm trying to continue the content for you guys. I am very happy because literally yesterday I told you guys that I was at 4,500 and we're about to hit 46. Like the amazing support, guys. Thank you so much. This is not gonna be forever, by the way. This whole stage here, I'm gonna be back in the lair in the next week. So let's make the best of it. As always, if there's an episode you guys want me to cover specifically, let me know down below. Let me know how your day was today. Let's get on with it.
Here you go. I feel pretty good about this. I think I got a good shot at winning the contest.
So the episode starts off in a factory. There is a productivity contest going on, and basically the winner gets to go to Reno.
Nice job, brother. You're in the lead. Really? All right, Reno! Oh, now you're in second, third.
Now, everybody is so excited to win because of who doesn't want to go to Reno for a whole week paid. This is where Benny and George began to hit it off the wrong way.
Ask me where I'm going.
I already know where you're going, Mom. It's hot, full of sinners, and you'll be dating Hitler. That's his punishment.
See, Benny claims that nobody else has higher numbers than her and she 100% should win.
I asked around. Nobody's got as good a numbers as mine.
No way. You made these up.
Go out there and check the warehouse.
Only to her surprise that Gina is the one that actually wins.
The winner is Gina Sorenstam.
Hot damn, I'm going to Reno.
So Benny's upset at this because what the heck, right? Like, why are you putting me through this? But George, quick to point out that Benny has been basically faking her time card for years and he doesn't believe anything that she is telling him. Now, here's the thing about it. It's kind of funny that George is actually not denying that he's not giving Benny the actual win, but he's morally justifying it. You know, like, you've been cheating on that for years. There's no way you won.
This is crap. I should have won and you know it. I had the highest numbers. Age don't count, sweetheart.
There's a reason why you more than likely didn't win. As much as you want to side with George and absolutely not Benny, she kind of has a point, right? If she did the work, like, why shouldn't she be rewarded? But that's the thing about George and Benny. Benny has been lying to him so many times. George has no reason to believe her.
I should have won, but you just couldn't let me, could you? Huh? Because you know why? You have never won anything in your whole life.
Now, George is supposed to be the manager, right? So why is he not fair, right? I mean, it's Benny, so of course he's always gonna have an exception to the rule. So basically, Angie tells George that if Benny won, she should be the one that gets to go on the trip.
Whoever did the most work should win. I mean, George, you have to be a man of your word.
Why? She's never been a man of her word.
And that is George's entire problem. It's not that he's making a manager decision, he's making a childhood one. He is still that kid that feels like Benny just gave him the worst deal ever and now he wants to get back at her. And of course, because Benny is furious at this, she's gonna do what she knows best, and that's to escalate.
There's nothing you can do to hurt me now. Ay, Dios mío!
And this is one of the things that I dislike about Benny is that she can dish it, but she can't take it. So George and Benny have a disagreement here where Benny threatens revenge. George obviously has to hit her with one of the coldest one-liners ever.
You screwed me, and now I am going to get you. It's payback time.
What are you gonna do? Raise me again?
And see, this joke lands because it's not a joke. Honestly, it's just an insult. And right when we think George feels like there's nothing Benny can do, we get hit with this.
Why?
Now, this is another one of those annoying Angie episodes because we expect by now for Angie to understand how Benny operates. But for some reason, she sides with Benny for like the fifth time, full well knowing who Benny is.
Because I will leave this house right now unless you back me up. So, siding with your husband? Or are you siding with my mom?
I'm siding with your mom.
Last chance!
Like, Angie just feels like she has to be fair about it, and I don't know why. So, after Angie basically tells George that he needs to be a man of his word, George realizes that he is not going to win this argument. And now that Angie sided with Benny, he leaves the house to head to Thirsty's.
What's your soup gonna be?
We don't have soup.
Sorry for wasting your time.
Oh.
Now, he ends up meeting Ernie at Thirsty's, and as we all know by now, Ernie is the complete opposite of George. And honestly, this is what sets up the whole entire story plot.
What's your soup? That loco, what's your soup?
You don't have to take it out on me just because you have problems at home.
I believe Angie took my mom's side after all that woman's done to me.
Dude, how does my lighting look like? Do I look yellow? When George is complaining to Ernie, he basically realizes that Ernie is everything that he is terrified of being. And here's the thing, I feel like George doesn't want it to be emotionally healthy if it means becoming Ernie.
You might have had a rough childhood, but you got a great life now. You got Angie, a great family. You manage the plant. You got Angie.
Which is a crazy worldview, but in all honesty, if you survive Benny, I feel like you're not looking at the world through love and tickles and hugs. You're looking at it more like survival.
You said Angie twice.
Did I?
So he's not thinking, am I happy? He's more thinking of, can anyone punk me? And in George's mind, Ernie gets punked every single day. So now comes the part of the worm.
Hey, don't drink that, George. You got the one with the worm, man. That thing has all kinds of weird psychedelic properties.
Maybe I'll have a psychedelic vision and forget all about my horrible mom.
George ends up drinking the worm, and by now we all know what the worm is, but if you don't know what it is, let me give you a quick rundown. Basically, in the George Lopez show, anytime a worm is mentioned, it's basically a hallucinogenic drug almost. So George is going to have a whole hallucination specifically on what is going on in his life. In this case, he sees how Benny and him are fighting and how Ernie's life is a lot more soft. So you know that it's just a whole mix of chaos here.
Hey, but if you start feeling weird,
Let me know!
So in this hallucination, we get to see a version of George that was raised by a nicer version of Benny.
You sleep better.
No, don't smother me!
I was just trying to make you more comfortable.
But due to this, George is a lot softer. He's weaker. He's just less able to fight for what he wants.
So I live here with you?
Well, until you meet a girl who's good enough for you. And you know, I don't think someone like that really exists.
See, the entire series, we basically get emphasized that George suffered at the hands of Benny throughout his entire childhood and even some of his adulthood. But this episode makes George confront a terrifying possibility, and that's that maybe Benny did good for him. And now that I think about it, that's actually kind of sad. You think you're better off throughout all the trauma just because you didn't grow up to be like Ernie.
See you at lunch, Mom.
Well, actually, honey, we need to talk. But word around the factory is that there are going to be some layoffs, and your name has been mentioned.
Me? What did I do?
Like, you are not healthy, you're not emotionally adjusted, you're just tough. And for George, that's probably the biggest win, if not everything.
It doesn't matter to me if you keep this job or not. I'll always love you. You'll always be cub at Mama Bear's side.
Now, the funniest thing about this, and I'm not sure how they ended up wrapping it around, but Ernie is the one that is living George's life. So in this world, Ernie is married to Angie.
Hey, George.
No!
He is the manager of Powers Brothers.
will there be any coffee left? Está loco? Will there be any coffee left?
And obviously his kids are Carmen and Max, with just a little piece of him.
Yeah, we heard someone yelling.
You could hear the earth turning with those ears.
Hey, don't make fun of my kids, brother.
And George cannot handle it. Because out of everyone, Ernie being the one that gets to marry Angie is like George's personal hell. So George comes to the realization that because Benny was nice to him, his life sucks.
Tell you what's wrong. My mom loves me and it ruined everything.
And I'm not sure why he is okay with that. Now, this episode's not actually saying that Benny was a good mom by all means. What this episode is basically telling us is that George has justified all that pain and trauma that he had to endure just because he feels he's tough now. And having it any other way is just not good.
This is your problem. You're a good worker, but you're just too soft.
I'm not soft. Playing Monopoly last night with my mom and she landed on my property and she didn't have any money and I said, Sasuke, pay up.
You see, there's a huge difference. George is not saying Benny was right. He's basically saying I survived Benny and I cannot separate my survival from my personality. And this is why George constantly brings up how hard he had it whenever Max or Carmen pushed back on anything. If Benny had been a perfect mom, his life would have been absolutely terrible.
I know you got a crush on my lady, but you gotta hide it better than that. Sorry.
Flattered.
You see, this episode does not erase anything Benny did. It doesn't justify it. It doesn't give her any type of character redemption. What it does is literally just George rationalizing it. And that is such a George Lopez conclusion. He doesn't want pity. He doesn't want anyone to think he's weak or broken or fragile.
Better than Ernie, huh?
It was a Christmas party 10 years ago. He ambushed me under the mistletoe. Let it go.
He would rather turn his pain into a punchline. And this is why it's sad that he doesn't know who he would be without his pain. All right, guys, if you enjoy the content, let me know down below. Like I said, I know this is not my regular setting, but the lighting is a little bit off. Everything is difficult right now, but it's going to be okay. Thank you all so much for the support. I will see you guys on the next one. Goodbye.
Just want everyone to know that I did not sleep with George to get this.